some of the new features of iOS 14. And one thing that stands out specifically is, of course, um, the, the home screen. You can switch different pages and so on. But while I'm explaining, it's actually going to be better if I share my screen with you guys, so you guys can actually see what I'm up to. So in my home screen, what we've looked at is basically you can now hide certain pages of apps, as well as you still have access to that because it doesn't delete the apps. You still have access to it via your apps library. So if I should go and swipe from left to right, you will see I only have 2 pages at the moment, which is indicated with the dots at the bottom. If I go further on, it will take me straight to my apps library. Now I've got more pages than these guys. And if I go further to the left, right to the left, it will take me into my widgets side panel or library. Now, if I should tap and hold on any of these apps, it will go into edit mode. Now, at the bottom where I access my pages of apps, I will be able to now show and hide certain things. Now you can see that I'm only showing these 2 here, right? If I click on any one of them, it will bring those ones back up again. So I've got now 3 showing, which will be displayed at the bottom. But now, besides of adding in all of these different pages, and I'm just going to hide that one again. What you can also do is you can also include widgets into your pages. So in my case, I've set my phone up as what it is when you get it, when you have updated it for new onto iOS 14. But now let's quickly set it up the way it was set up for me. Now I'm very subjective to my and obedient to my calendar, right? And most of us, when we open our eyes in the morning, before we even say hello to our spouse, we would reach out for our phone. So in my case, the first thing I always want to look at is what's the weather like and what's my day look like today. So now in this case, it makes with iOS 14, it makes it even easier because I can add those widgets on. So now if I should tap and hold, and it goes into edit mode, right? And now you will see at the top left-hand side, I can tap on the plus and I can add in my different widgets. So now the first widget that I'm gonna add in will be my weather widget, right? And I like to go with the the middle size view. So I'm gonna choose that one. And like I mentioned to you guys, I like to actually see my what my day looks like. So I'm gonna add in my calendars as well, right? So and I like to go all the way on the biggest view for this one. So now I'm just gonna drag that because I would like to see my weather at the top. So now I've got those 2 widgets set up on my screen, but now I can also add in additional widgets. So if I now go to my one of my pages again, and I go into edit mode. I could actually go into edit mode by tapping and holding on the widgets. And I can now add in the one widget I find actually quite fascinating. One of the newer widgets that's been added in from Apple is the batteries. You see, guys, I'm just going to go with the small view or the small window. Um, and here you can actually see I've got my Apple Watch with me today as well. So it's actually showing my the power levels of my Apple Watch. And even if you hook up a Bluetooth keyboard or a mouse like with your iPad, it will indicate those items as well. So it's pretty smart widget to have on your screen. Now, another few others before I go into my third party, I like to use these are not the standard Apple widgets. I like to use the maps as well. And with the maps, I'm also going to go with a larger size. I like to go loud and proud with this one. So I'm going to move that and move it below. And I like to keep certain apps separate from it. So I'm going to add in one more small widget, and that is my, like say, my music widget. And I'm going to use the smaller one. Okay. So now I've got something set up for me, which I can view in the morning, and certain other things that I can actually during the day and so on. But you can customize this any way you want. Okay. And now further on, I can see there's my other pages of apps as well. Now, these are the apps that came with iOS 14, but you also have third-party widgets, right? So there are a few third-party widgets that came out already now. Certain companies will eventually bring out more widgets as well. Oh, and that reminds me of one more thing, guys. If I scroll all the way to my widgets side panel, right at the bottom, you will see that there's an edit button. If I tap on that edit button, which will put it into edit mode, and I scroll to the bottom, you'll see that it will give me the customize option. So if I tap on the customize, I can also add in like my WhatsApp, my it gives me the option to go to the FNB messengers as a widget and so on. And you can add in some of the other apps that you might have. Not all of them are available at the moment, but remember, this is a totally new UI on the iPhone. So now things will, of course, progress, and more companies will make it, more developers will make specifically widgets. So that is the other option that you have. Now, coming back to other third-party widgets, if I go to the App Store, the one first third-party widget that I actually like to use is, I'm just going to search for the App Store here, is the Google widget. So if you go to the App Store and you search for the Google widget, this thing is awesome. Widget. I just want to show you. So it's if you search for the Google widget, that's the one. And what's so cool about this widget, I'm just gonna add it in, guys. One sec. Let me just go to edit mode and add in my Google widget. I'm going to go with it only has two views, the small and the much larger or the middle size one. So I'm going to add that one. And here it gives you where you can actually just do a Google search straight off the bat. Also, you've got a voice search where you can speak it in and it will search, but you also have the lens. So now if I tap on the lens, say for instance, you want to search for a specific product or so on, like I've got this Adam Elements, which is a hub here. So if I hold it there, okay, and I tap on the magnifying glass, it will then show me the different products that's available for it and so on. So it actually does that for you, but not only for that purpose, right? If I go to say translate at the bottom, if I swipe here at the bottom, I can go to translate and I can set up my translation. I can make it. This is pretty intelligent. I can make it. It normally starts with an automatic setting, but then I can set from which language to English or so on. So guys, you have got a little note here next to me that I typed out in Afrikaans. So I'm just gonna hold my phone over it and you can see it now translated it. Okay. Uh, yeah, or maybe I have to turn it that way. There we go. Pretty cool. So you can actually use your translate widget, and it's all combined into that one particular widget. Okay. Also, another widget that I came across, it's called Widgeridoo. It's also a new a free widget up to a certain point. So I'm just going to add that one on as well. So this is Widgeridoo. It's also on the App Store. It's a free download. But after you, so what does Widgeridoo do? It basically it allows you to create your own widget. Okay, so you can combine multiple components into this one widget. So now if I now select this one here, I'm going to add that one in. So now I can add in my different components. So I first tap on done to get out of edit mode, right, or out of the jiggles. And then I tap on it. And yeah, they just can take you through the basic instructions in terms of what to do. Okay, but I'll explain it to you guys in a little bit more detail. So these are now pre-made widgets, if you might call it that way. And yes, a new widget button. So I'm just going to delete that one. It's one that I was playing around with. And when I click on the plus at the bottom, if you are allowed to make one new widget. If you create another one, it will actually tell you to do the subscription, which I think is about 32 Rand a month or something like that. So if I tap on the plus, I can start with the empty one, and here it gives me a blank canvas. So if I tap on the blank canvas, I can now choose which items I want on there. So the one thing I like to actually add on is birthday from contacts. So there I can see there's somebody's birthday added on already. And I can click on the plus, and maybe I want to add in also my music at the same time. I can go in um, and I can add in maybe another one. Let me go with calendar events. Okay. So now I've got those three. I can give it a name and dark mode, inverts colors, and so on. I can switch that on. And if I say done, okay, I didn't give it a name, and that's what my widget will look like. And it's plain and basic, as you can, of course, put all the cosmetic changes to it as well. So now as I go out and I go in, now it will display in this way at the moment. But if I go into edit mode again, okay, into the jiggles. So I tap on that, and I can choose which widget I want to use. Okay, so I can then choose, okay, right, I want to go to that one and so on. There are, of course, pre-made ones as well that you can select, like this one here. Okay, let me first choose the one that I've made, which is the new widget. So now that is what it will look like. Okay, which is pretty handy. However, if you want to change it around, go back to edit mode again. And then I can go to birthdays. And this one is also pretty good because now it can show you whose birthday it is today, whose one is coming up next, and so on. So it goes straight into your contacts and show you all of these things. So you can, of course, now, so those are the two ones that's for free that I actually find extremely useful, and I've added it onto my phone as well. Now, coming to the people that want to maybe go into a little bit more depth. Okay, so you're happy with using the widgets in combination with your apps. You are now able to hide certain apps, only use the apps that you want to through the apps library. But now say you want to customize it further. So what I've done here, guys, I'm just going to go into edit mode again. What I've done here, I'm just going to go to my pages. I've created, or I've customized certain app icons, which looks like this. There we go. So I've created these app icons here, right? So I've customized it myself, and I'm going to show you guys how I've done it. Now they are all in a gray format with their own little icons. I could have downloaded icons from the internet and actually apply them. I could have used images. I could have designed my own and add them in as well. But I'll show you guys how to actually apply them and how to somehow bring about a way that it's like customized to your way that you want to. Okay. So the app that I'm going to be using is my series shortcuts. And as you can see, I'm going to use my dock as an example. I'm going to do the same for my dock, which is now in its standard way. So now if I tap and hold on any of the app, sorry, not to go into edit mode. If I go to my series shortcuts, right? And you would notice that now if you go to series source shortcuts, you've got a new tab at the top called shortcuts. Okay. If you tap on those shortcuts, you can actually now create folders, right? So it's a nice way to keep your different shortcuts separated, which is nicely organized and so on. So you can see that I've created a desktop apps folder. So I'm going to create another folder. I'm going to tap on the folder icon at the top, and I'm going to call this folder doc apps, just as an example. It's just a way to keep things separated so you don't have all this sea of shortcuts at later stage. So I'm going to tap on add. So there's my docapps folder. I can go and create it through all shortcuts. If I tap on all shortcuts, it shows me my folder name, my startup shortcuts. There's my desktop shortcuts, and right at the bottom is my doc apps. But I like to actually go straight into my doc apps folder. There we go. And now I can start creating it. Now I want to create um, my first app icon. So here at the bottom, you see it is phone, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my shortcuts, and I'm going to tap in my series shortcuts on the plus, and then on the plus, I'm going to tap on add action. And in my add action, I'm going to go to scripting. Right now in scripting, I'm going to go to open app. And in my open app, I have to choose which app I want to open. So the app that I want to open is my phone. Okay. So now I've got the app that I want to open. But now on there, I want to click on the ellipsis button. And on the ellipsis button, I can now choose my icon. And I'm just going to give it the same name. I'm going to call it phone. And I'm going to add the icon by just tapping on the icon at the top. Choose the color, right? I'm going to choose the same color, which is the gray one. I'm going to choose my glyph. So yeah, I can now choose which icon I want to display. And the icon that I'm going to choose is the phone, and done. Okay. So now I've got the icon for my shortcut. But now if I go to add to home screen, I can now give it a name which will appear on my home screen, which is phone, and I tap on add. And you can see it's added to my home screen. I tap on done, and done again. So there's my shortcut added, but if I go to my home screen, you will see there's that one that I've created. So now I can tap hold, go to edit mode, right? And remove this icon here. Now, guys, be careful. You don't going to delete it. You don't want to delete the app. So if I tap on the minus sign there on it, you want to remove from home screen. Okay. It's still accessible. That same icon is accessible through your apps library. But in this case, I'm going to replace it with that one. Okay, because that's the one that's going to replace it now. So you can then rinse and repeat the same one, but I'm going to do it for WhatsApp as well. So now if I go back into my shortcuts, and I'm still in my folder, as you can see, it's the doc apps, and I tap on the plus, add action, go to scripting, right? And under scripting, I go to open apps. If you guys forget about the scripting, you can always use the search. Okay, I'm going to actually do that. I'm going to go in the search and I'm going to type in open apps. Ah, there we go. You will see there at the bottom, it now appeared there's an action. So I'm going to choose that, and I'm going to go with WhatsApp. Okay. And now I'm going to choose the ellipsis. And the reason why I chose WhatsApp, guys, because remember I told you you can even use your own icon. So now before I was using the icons that is available within shortcuts. But say if I want to use my own icons, I can now go and let me first give it a name. It's WhatsApp. add to home screen, and here at the bottom, before I remember, I clicked it on the one at the top in the previous window, and this one I tap on the icon here, which will give me the option to go to take photo, choose file. So in my case, I'm going to choose photo, and I've got a nice little icon here. So I'm going to choose that one. There we go. And before I tap on add, I should have changed the color first. So let's change the color to gray. Done. There we go. Choose photo, and I'm going to choose that one again. Choose and add. Okay, and done. And done again. So there we go. So now if I go there, there's my WhatsApp icon. And same thing, tap hold, remove, don't delete the app, right? Because remember, your icon is dependent on that app. So we say move to app library and drag that icon in there to take its place. Now, guys, there's a short or there's one small drawback with this, and that is if I tap on any of the ones that I've created. Let me go to the ones that I've used or created before. So now if I now tap on any of these apps, it will first go to my, as you could see, it goes to my Siri shortcuts and then opens the app. It's like 10th of a second that you're gonna just be waiting to move to the app, but it does the job at least. So that's the thing, because you're working through your Siri shortcuts. And then after you've created your icons, you can choose a nice little background, go into your photos, and and choose a nice image, and then just create it as a background, and that will then blend in with your customization. Okay, so that is my presentation, guys, in terms of using the standard ones, third-party ones, or even customizing your own icons.
I have a bit of a frustration with one specific app, and that's the power levels. In the previous version, one could see the power level given as a percentage, say 67, and I like that very much. But the new power level is just a qualitative picture or indicator. Is there any way in which one can get back the quants to it?
If you choose the longer widget, you do get the percentage marker, hey?
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Exactly what I'm looking for. Thank you
so
so much.
So guys, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you guys on Monday. I will not be here, but Alan will be your host. And yeah, I hope that you guys have a fantastic weekend and all of the best. And next time when I see your phones, I want to see that it's all customized to the way you want it.
Thank you.
Shows that you've got a lot of time in your hands. Cheers. Bye.
Thanks, Angela.
Bye, everyone.